We start this brief overview of my railway photographs at Andover Junction with what is possibly my earliest railway photo. An M7 class tank, number 30048, takes water at the end of the loop platform that served trains to Cheltenham on the former Midland and South Western Junction Railway. This is probably around 1960. A Saturday trip down the Spratt and Winkle line takes us to Southampton Central, where Battle of Britain Class 601 Squadron stands under the impressive signal gantry. This, and the previous photo, were taken on my first camera, a Kodak Brownie 127, which was handed down from my brother when he got a smart new Voigtlander camera in a shiny brown leather case for his birthday. My Brownie had a large wodge of plasticine covering a crack in the body to stop the light getting in, but it took fine pictures on a bright day. A trip to Bristol Bath Road Open Day, and I've upgraded to a Helena Paulette Electric 35mm camera. Here we see Princess Elizabeth and Clun Castle. It's Saturday, October the 22nd, 1966, the first day of the half-term holiday, and the event was overshadowed by the Aberfan disaster, which happened the previous day. Back home to Andover Junction now to spot Merchant Navy Class 35008 Orient Line waiting to depart from the up platform with a London-bound train. Orient Line's nameplates had by this time been removed for safety to prevent them from being stolen by souvenir collectors. West Country Class 34025 Wimple heads west with the very last steam-hauled service from Andover on the evening of July the 7th, 1967. Note the valedictory posy of flowers on the smokebox door. Although the Midland and South Western Junction closed to passengers in 1961, a short length remained open for goods as far as Ludgershall for military traffic. Here we see the Ludgershall goods headed by its regular engine Standard Class 4 tank 80016 with military vehicles circa 1967. The same train waits on the loop platform for a clear road east. It looks as though the footplate may have some unauthorised guests. Fast forward 25 years and we find the Ludgershall goods is still running with the same payload of military vehicles. Only the motive power has changed from steam to a Class 47 diesel, 47360. In my early teens I joined the British Young Travellers Society, which ran trips and meetings on a railway theme. Here we are on a Saturday trip to Bournemouth and Weymouth Sheds on the 6th of May 1967. This is the view from inside Bournemouth Shed. Meanwhile, out in the sunlight, a Standard 4 tank, its side tanks replenished to overflowing, is taking a spin on the turntable. I remember we got shouted at for straying far too close to the third rail which had already been installed on the main running lines in preparation for the switchover to electric services. Later that day, further west at Weymouth, a couple of my friends chat to a railwayman, probably asking if they could cab 34021 Dartmoor. Towards the end of steam, I found most railwaymen were happy to chat even if you didn't have a permit, whereas a few years earlier they'd have chased you out. In the summers of 1967 and 1968, I did week-long tours of the north of England with the British Young Travellers Society. It was a collection of firsts for me. First time away from home without my parents, first time north of Banbury, first exposure to strange northern accents, etc., etc. Carnforth was our first overnight stop. The following morning we headed up to Shap Summit to spend the best part of the day on the fell side, photographing trains heaving themselves up the famous bank. Here we see Black 5 number 45455 making a big fuss, despite being banked by Standard Class 4 75026. We spent that night at Skipton, having travelled up to Carlisle and then down the celebrated Settle and Carlisle line. A visit to Rose Grove MPD proved most fruitful. Here we see Black 5 45212 posing in the yard outside the shed, having been buffed up for a special working on the 28th of July 1968. 8F number 48723 trudges past Lostock Hall signal box with a long, heavy rake of mineral wagons on the 1st of August 1968. In the years since the end of steam, the Ludgershall branch has seen a number of specials. Hagley Hall was stabled overnight in Andover's Loop platform and shines under the station lights prior to running specials up to Ludgershall on the following day. Andover Junction had become just plain old Andover. I'll end this sequence with another Ludgershall special. Here we see former Somerset and Dorset 280 number 53809 speeding past Scat's grain silo just west of Andover. Soon the 7F would leave the main line at Red Post Junction and head up the single-track branch to Ludgershall. Ah yes, as an afterthought, I call this Portrait of the Artist as a Young Nerd. I'm on the far right of the photo, atop a platelayer's hut on the Sprat and Winkle line between Clapford and Fullerton. Neither the line, nor the hut, nor the bobble hat have survived.